So do we know what breakpoints are? So when you buy a mutual fund, you pay a sales charge. But if you put more money in, more and more money in every time, they're going to lower the sales charge. So when you buy a mutual fund, you pay the NAV, the net asset value, plus say up to 8.5% sales charge on top of the NAV that makes the POP. But what they have is breakpoints. Breakpoints are the more you put in. So say you put in between 0 and 10 grand, you pay 8%. If you put in between 1001 and 20 grand, you may pay 7%. And most mutual funds will have a breakpoint schedule. It's only for A shares, because B shares you pay on the way out, and C shares you kind of pay a level load. But Class A shares, they're front-end loads, so they're going to pay a sales charge when you go in, and the more you put in, you hit breakpoints, and you pay less on the whole investment. And remember, the good thing about that is, say you're with Fidelity or Vanguard or T. Rowe, those are three different fund families. If you invest in multiple mutual funds inside that fund family, then they'll aggregate that and give you a sales charge. Say the breakpoint is 20 grand. You put in 8 grand into the large cap, 8 grand into the mid cap, and then another 8 grand into like the small cap. Well, that's 24 grand. Even though it's three different funds, it's in the same family with Fidelity. So they're going to say, okay, that's 24 grand. We're going to give you a breakpoint based on the whole 24 grand. Same thing with family. If you have a family member that lives in the same household or you control their expenses, they'll aggregate all of what you invest as a family and use that towards your breakpoints. But then there's what these guys did, called breakpoint sales. Breakpoints are good, breakpoint sales are bad. So breakpoint sales are when you put somebody in just below the breakpoint and you don't tell them, oh, if you put in more money, you get a lower sales charge. That's a breakpoint. The other one people don't see as much is when you say, oh, we're going to diversify you. We put you in different fund families. Maybe we put like 8 grand in Vanguard, 8 grand in Fidelity, 8 grand in T. Rowe. Well, those companies aren't going to honor each other's investments. So by diversifying them supposedly between different fund families, you're screwing your customer over because they have to pay the higher sales charge. Because according to each fund family, they've only paid in 8 grand versus the 24,000 they actually invested, but in various fund families. So that hurts you. So FINRA found out that they had about 12 or 15 customers that they were doing this. They were putting them in multiple fund families, and then they fined them. I think they fined them like 50 grand. Right, so they fined them 50 grand, and they had to pay back $63,000 in restitutions. Now remember, the funds they put them in were all highly rated, so they were suitable in a high sense, but because they spread them between the different fund families, they paid a lot more in sales charges than they should have, to the tune of about $65,000. That's breakpoint sales. Breakpoints are good. Breakpoint sales are bad. If you like this, check me out on YouTube and come to my live every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Be there.